Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. We've been having a few technical glitches, but hopefully we found a workaround. Thank you so much for joining me on this Friday evening. And I'm absolutely delighted to introduce you to my friend Katie. Uh, Hi, Katie.
Hi,
I'll give you your proper title, Kathryn McKenzie, but I'm sorry, you're always just going to be our Katie. How are you doing
Katie's
today?
more fun.
You are definitely fun, that's for sure. So, how's things going today?
Good. I'm in Iowa City and I am a orthotic resident at American Prosthetics and Orthotics in Iowa City at the University of Iowa Hospital Center, which is a trauma one hospital.
Awesome.
So, so it's a good day to end with speaking with you.
Really nice. Well, we have three people already saying hi to you. And let me just say, we have Carolyn Robinson, who is one of my friends here in District 4 and a past governor. We have Linda K. Smith from all the way up in Kansas. And we have Connie Corwin Brown, who says, and I quote, "I'm ready." She says, "Great way to end a crazy week. Another cup of tea and Altrusans." Thanks for joining us, Connie. We appreciate having you here. So, to start with, Katie, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself, your family, growing up, whatever you want to share?
Okay, so I've moved around a lot. My family was not in the military, but um, I went to college in Texas, and I went to grad school in Canada, and I have my first master's in museum studies, and then my second master's. Just because I'm adding letters to the end of my name, because Kathryn Elizabeth Ann McKenzie is not long enough. Um, that I went to Northwestern to get my master's in orthotics and prosthetics, and I'm finishing up my orthotic residency, and I am applying for a prosthetic residency uh, around the U.S. In Philadelphia, South Carolina, Mississippi, and Texas have been on my radar so far. And
Awesome.
I and my parents live in Texas, and my brother, my younger brother lives in Texas, and my older brother lives in Philadelphia.
So, yes, I must admit, from a personal point of view, I know there's many Altruisans who would be only too happy to see you back in Texas because that's where quite a few of us got to know you. It's quite a jump. I'm going to throw this question. I didn't warn you about this one, but it's quite a jump from museum studies to
Yeah,
prosthetics.
sure.
That's
Um,
quite a jump. Gonna care to comment or?
yeah. So my undergrad is in classical civilizations. So just think a really specific history degree, which I really do have a passion for. Um, and I loved objects. I thought objects could tell a story, and I thought that that was important, and it is important. Um, but then I had some bad experiences with museum studies, and I wasn't progressing enough. And and then I really thought that I preferred the oral history of someone kind of giving life to something more than a three-dimensional object that literally collects dust and disintegrates. But a story from you or I lasts forever. Um, and so, although I still love museums in general, it's I guess I became a critic of all museums in a horrible way. Um, so, but also maybe at the same time, because I was in a bad accident a long time ago in Hawaii. Bad day. I would say that my mom and dad had the brunt of this because I don't remember it, but they do. Um, but as a result, I wear an orthotic, an ankle foot orthosis because I have foot drop, meaning I can't pick up my foot. So, and I've worn a brace for 20 years, but I guess it took that long to look at the brace as something good, and and then I had a really cool experience with one of my mentors and certified prosthetist orthotist, and it was a woman, and I had never seen a woman in the field through my experiences, and it just kind of like it was one of those aha moments, and I decided to go back to school, and this is where I am.
Yes, I think some of the challenges that you and your parents have faced would just that they're beyond belief. And having met your mom and dad and discussed with them, I'm hoping your mum might be watching, but she's not commented yet if she is. So come on, Carol, say hi if you're here. Um, you know, but all credit to you too, because you did come back from it, and you to be such a kind and caring person for what you've been through shows in what you're doing. So we're going to turn to a part of that kind and caring personality, and I want to ask you first of all, who introduced you to Altrusa?
So I was actually volunteering at Texas Scottish Rite Children's Hospital. It was at Christmas, and Anne Reed caught me in the gift shop. I know it was Christmas because there was like a tree lighting ceremony, and um, she really, like, I think just wouldn't let me leave without agreeing to go to a meeting with Altrusa, and I said okay, and that was
Yes,
kind of it.
Anne has met quite a few people in strange places. But yes, Altrusa of Dallas definitely would have been there because we always participated in the tree decoration ceremony. Um, so, when you came to that first meeting, what convinced you to become an Altrusan?
I think it was the ladies that I that were in the group that I was able to be a part of. It wasn't. I mean, it was. The ladies are like diverse backgrounds, so I think that is really cool. And I don't know. I think older individuals are way cooler to hang out with than younger children. And whoever, I believe me, I'm in Iowa City and it's a college town. I hate the students here. They're the wrong kind of people, and so Altrusa is the right kind of people. And the idea that with Altrusa helping other groups that are in need of anything, like MLK camp or um, Texas Scottish Rite. I mean, all of these different organizations, Patriot Paws. Granted, I am referring to um, projects from Dallas, and I apologize. I am a member right now with Iowa City Altrusa, but I am the worst member because I can't seem to get to a meeting. Even a virtual meeting, I'm really bad at right now.
I
But
think you're being very hard on yourself, given that you are in a medical field and what's currently going on. I'm pretty sure the Altrusans in Iowa are aware that you can't just walk out the door when it's time for a meeting.
true. But I feel bad because in Texas, I lived in Greenville, which is like in East Texas, but I was a member of the Dallas organization, and I made all meetings. And then I joined the Greenville club as well, not knowing that there was one there, um, because I wanted the dual membership. I was like, if I can just help out where I live and in Dallas, then why not? And I got to know each area, Dallas and Greenville, more.
But you weren't quite at this point in your career then that you are now.
So very
I think for a lot of Altrusans out there who are not of the slightly more experienced, shall we say, variety, because I'm not going to say older, because I'm not old. I think, you have to cut yourself some slack. You are at an important part of your career progression, and that obviously has to take precedence at the moment over, for example, where you might see yourself going on your Altrusa journey.
So true. Very good point.
So, talking about your Altrusa journey, at some point, do you see yourself progressing and perhaps becoming more involved with the organizational side of things?
I'd like to. I think I saw it clear when I was with Dallas. Kind of. I'm so glad that Elle is going to be the president, but I kind of wish I had like duked her out for it. Not that I could have, but I like the idea of taking on more responsibility for sure.
Well, yeah, who knows? I mean, the future is not laid out for anyone. Things can change, and you might end up back in Texas. So, things might change. You just never know. And like me, you can always drop in on Elle anytime you're visiting. She doesn't know what she's letting herself in for. Huge shout out to Elle Reese, who does a lot of good behind the scenes work for everyone in the Dallas Club. You talked briefly about a couple of the projects that you liked in Dallas. Would you say you had a favorite project with the Dallas Club?
I think I really liked the MLK camp, and I liked it, I think, more because I think I saw the impact more of what we were doing, and we got to interact with the children, and I think reading is really important because reading encompasses all things. It's not just a story. You can learn to do something, learn a hobby through reading. So it kind of gave those, I think, children a different lifeline.
Yes. And for the benefit of people who aren't aware, the MLK was the Martin Luther King School in South Dallas, I think it was. And Dallas, that was one of their signature projects for many years. An awesome project that I also helped participate in. So I know what you mean. It truly was a special project. Thinking again about your time with Altrusa, is there perhaps one moment in your time that still gives you goosebumps when you think about it that was special to you?
Well, I don't know if goosebumps comes to mind, but I think a big moment was convention, going to convention in Nashville.
Yes.
And I actually did that when I just started at Northwestern. So it probably was a leap to go, but I'm glad that I went because of just all the clubs that you got to see and how and the number of people involved and the number of projects that they do.
Yes, Nashville was certainly a once in a lifetime event of celebrating the centennial. What would you say if there was somebody watching this broadcast just now that's thinking about becoming an Altrusan? What would you tell them?
Um, I would say it's an opportunity to definitely get to know your community and I think be a part of a really I think awesome group of I know that there are some men in Altrusa, so I'm gonna say men and women, um, and and why not help someone else? I feel like right now that has to be um, the number one thing that everyone can do. I heard on John Lewis's final. Um, I printed it off because I was so amazed by it. Okay, so it was John Lewis's last written piece before he died, and it basically the title is "Together You Can Redeem the Soul of Our Nation." So I feel like you've got to do the right thing always, and with Altrusa, there's nothing. It's always positive.
I think you've just found something to stick on the front of your computer and just look at every day. It's going to be a mantra for you. I have one final question, and it's not an easy one. I blame my guest last week, Sylvia Zamora, for making me think of this question.
Okay.
Blame's the wrong word, but for your time that you have been with Altrusa, is there any Altrusan that stands out to you that you look up to, respect? And I don't for 1 minute mean to suggest that you don't look up to or respect others, but do you have an Altrusa hero?
I think that's hard, really hard, because like even in Texas, like I went to Frisco's meeting and I met some amazing people there, and Dallas. I mean, I think everyone there. I mean, I I feel like you're right. I'm always gonna like go back to Texas. um, and the people in the group in Iowa City, every single person that I've met, even at convention and conference, they're they're all amazing. They all have qualities that you want and you want to be around.
Sounds like you've got a lot of role models working in your everyday life, as well as friends that you can come back to and that will always welcome you with open arms. You know that. And hopefully you might come to Thibodeau too when we get our club up and running. I'd love to see you here. You know that. So thank you for taking time. I know it's a busy day. You have clinics, you have a lot of things that you have to do as well as your studies. But I truly appreciate you taking some time to talk with us and to work through the few technical issues that we had at the start. But you know what? We got there, so it's all good.
Right.
Thanks so much, Katie.
Thank you.
And so there we have it. As I said, we did have some issues, and so you've got no idea of the baling wire and string that we've concocted to get this broadcast out to you today. But we made it, and it's all good. I would encourage you, if you have not already, please go on to YouTube, look for the Ask About Altrusa podcasts. There is a button that you can hit that subscribes you to the channel. You won't miss any future broadcasts. You can obviously share any of the podcasts from there. There are some wonderful Altrusans who have been interviewed already, and as usual, I'm still looking for other Altrusans. So if you know someone that you think I should be interviewing, please let me know. But in the meantime, stay safe. I will be letting you know who my guest is for next week, just as soon as I can confirm the time. As always, I will look forward to speaking with you then. Good night, everyone.